January 21st.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice.
Prime Minister Mark Carney received a rare standing ovation following a speech at the World Economic Forum.
Make sure that you have an emergency kit with you, things that'll keep you warm, like a blanket, some non-perishable food items, a cell phone charger.
Drivers out east are being urged to be more prepared for snow on the way with frigid temperatures. And Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What we know just ahead. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Swatsky.
And I'm Janelle Leppai. Good chilly morning today.
Yeah, chilly morning, and parts of Saskatchewan saw that snow yesterday.
Yes, some snow coming yesterday. We are seeing that fresh blanket, so be careful in that morning commute. It is making things a little bit slippery out there.
All right, in just a few minutes, we're going to get over to you in the Weather Center. We're going to be looking forward to that 7-day forecast, seeing if there's any more snow in it. For now, we'll turn our attention over to news. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up his 9-day trip around the world today after getting a rare standing ovation for his speech in Davos.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
Prime Minister Carney told a room full of leaders that the world order is not transitioning, it's rupturing. He says countries like Canada must change how we operate. Prime Minister Carney also spoke directly about Greenland and U.S. President Trump's plans to take it over, saying Canada strongly opposes tariffs on Greenland. Carney is meeting with investors and other national leaders today before heading home to Ottawa this evening.
As a middle power, we have convening power. We have mechanisms in place, but we need to stand up for rules-based trade. We're a founding member of the WTO, and so we need to continue to be there to protect international trade, international rules-based trade.
Canada's International Trade Minister Maninder Sidhu spoke to reporters in Davos this morning, echoing Prime Minister Carney's remarks. Sidhu says Canada's presence at these international meetings is important to attract new trade, adding that it's also an important time for Canada to invest in itself. He also spoke about expanding trade and economic opportunities with India, particularly in agriculture and energy products. U.S. President Donald Trump will be addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos today, but some plane issues have made him a little late.
I believe President Trump is going to be about 3 hours late. I haven't seen the updated schedule.
Air Force One returned to Washington about an hour after takeoff last night. The U.S. president needed to switch planes. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the decision was made as a precaution after the crew identified a minor electrical issue. All eyes will be on President Trump's speech today after he threatened tariffs on Denmark and 7 other allies if they aren't willing to negotiate a U.S. takeover of Greenland. Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What began as a death investigation is now being treated as a homicide after a body was found in a vehicle shortly after police tried to carry out a traffic stop. The aerial support unit led police to the vehicle, but not the occupants. Upon a search, a dead body was found inside. Police have also searched a home in the 3700 block of Dudney Avenue in connection with this case. Anyone with information on what happened is asked to contact police. Meanwhile, the cause of another person's death over the weekend in East Regina has been deemed non-criminal. Police made the determination in working with the Saskatchewan Coroner's Service. An autopsy finding no reason to suspect foul play in the man's death on the 2000 block of Prince of Wales Drive. Police will not release his identity. Saskatoon's tourism landscape could be in for a change. Jeremy Dodge is tracking this story for us. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Kayleen. A city committee voted to rework its agreement with Discover Saskatoon, that's the city's tourism group, after it asked for a 95% funding increase this year. Instead, the committee voted to provide 3% increases over the next 4 years, while also adding more money to a special events reserve to help Discover Saskatoon bid on big events like the Briar or music festivals. Some funding is also contingent on Discover Saskatoon meeting certain performance targets.
Discover Saskatoon is the only organization doing this work and where venues and the city directly benefit from it. No other organization is doing the work that we are doing. If our capacity is reduced, this work does not move somewhere else.
The city's also encouraging reforms to help maximize funding, like amalgamating with SREDA, the Saskatoon Regional Economic Development Authority. The city of Saskatoon is also working toward combining SaskTel Centre and TCU Place into one organization. City staff met with both corporations over the summer and fall and found amalgamation would streamline operations, reduce duplication, and strengthen Saskatoon's ability to compete for major events. The city says there is limited downside, and the merger could be done by early next year. Aside from the benefits of consolidating operations, the city plans to have its convention center and theater across the street from its arena, with the goal of working with a single operator.
The facilities at some point in time will be right across the street from each other. We'd always envisioned a single operator, whether it was a private partner or any other model. The opportunity to work together to compete on shows and kind of work both of those facilities on the bid was always seen to be an advantage.
The city estimates amalgamating TCU Place and SaskTel Centre into one organization will eventually save $470,000 per year. All right, Kayleen, back to you with some word out from the Maritimes.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Poor conditions are still slowing down crews in Nova Scotia as they work to restore power to thousands of customers.
And we get into the field to restore power. There are multiple trees on lines that have to be removed, and it takes multiple crews at each outage to restore power for our customers.
Now, as of this morning, there are about 5,600 customers waiting to get back online. Most of the outages are being reported in areas of Bridgewater, Liverpool, and Windsor. Nova Scotia Power says icy roads and heavy snow weighing down trees are slowing down restoration work. At the peak after Monday's storm, about a quarter of Nova Scotia Power customers were in the dark. And there is more snow coming to parts of Ontario today. Drivers are being reminded to be ready in case of an emergency.
Make sure that you have an emergency kit with you, things that'll keep you warm, like a blanket, some non-perishable food items, a cell phone charger.
A yellow snowfall warning is calling for up to 20 centimeters of snow in some areas. Commuters, get ready. The snow is starting during the morning rush, and it's still really cold outside. Toronto is seeing some of its coldest temperatures in several years. Last year's wildfires and some significant storms in Saskatchewan proved to be very costly. A new report from the Insurance Bureau of Canada details losses from wildfires in the Flin Flon and La Ronge areas cost about $300 million. It notes Denair Beach experienced some of the most significant damage from the group of wildfires, with hundreds of homes, structures, and vehicles destroyed. It says the Pisu wildfire that impacted the community of La Ronge, Hall Lake, and Air Ronge, as well as several other smaller communities in early June, caused over $50 million in insured damage. The report also shows another $235 million in insured damage was done during a series of severe storms across the prairies in August. In Saskatchewan, Radisson, Longham, and North Battleford were hardest hit by those storms. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says in total, Canada's weather-related insured losses totaled more than $2.4 billion last year. A Regina Ringette team had a chance to take in some small-town hospitality after road conditions deteriorated on the way to Winnipeg last weekend. The Regina Riot U16 team was forced to stay the night in St. Cloud, Manitoba, as a winter storm blew through. The town welcomed all 41 people on the bus for the night, letting them stay in the local community center.
We were actually talking about it on the bus. Like, none of us had experienced anything like that before. We've heard about people getting stuck in storms or whatever, but none of us have ever experienced anything like that. Nothing having to stay in a small town like that.
It almost makes me emotional thinking about it, but I said to my partner when I got home, I said, you know, like, doing stuff like this really fuels my soul. Like, that kind of stuff makes me so happy, being able to help people like that.
Unfortunately, the Riot were not able to participate in the tournament and had to turn back around to Regina the following morning. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts begins Friday in Mississauga, and Saskatchewan's Team Campbell is ready to wear the green.
It's on the guard. It's going to tick and roll off. And Jolene Campbell will not have to throw her last rock, and she is your 2026 Saskatchewan Provincial Champion.
Saskatchewan has not won a Scotties championship since 2011 when Jolene Campbell was an alternate for Amber Holland. Campbell says there are similarities between that team and the one headed to the Scotties this year.
On this team, like Robin and I and Rachel have all been there before, so we kind of have that in common with them. We know what to expect. Really, we'll just enjoy it, I think, the same way they did. That's really how that team approached it. It was just, they were really united and they just really enjoyed being out there together. They really supported one another, and so I think we do things pretty similar that way.
The Highland Curling Club hosted the team send-off. Saskatchewan opens their tournament Saturday evening against Nova Scotia. All right, now we head on over to the Weather Center where we say good morning to Janelle Lepai. What do we have in store today?
Good morning. Well, we are seeing quite a few highways in Saskatchewan here where travel is not recommended. It is important to keep your eye on Highway Hotline as this blowing snow is making visibility quite difficult. On your morning commute, be safe. Keep your eyes open for some of these travel not recommended. Keep your eye on the conditions because things are looking a little bit rough out there. But let's take a look right now at our current temperatures that we're seeing. Here in Regina, minus 11, seeing those winds quite strong at 46 kilometers per hour. And we are expecting to see some snow here around 2 p.m. this afternoon. Over to Saskatoon now, minus 14, 37 kilometer per hour winds, which is blowing that snow and making visibility a little bit tough here this morning. So let's look at these snowfall amounts. This is tomorrow morning, what we're expecting to see. Again, not a lot of snow tonight for the Regina area, but it is something to be mindful of. Now for our wind gusts, we are seeing that yellow advisory put out by Environment Canada, blowing snow across southern Saskatchewan with that strong cold front. So visibility is poor. Again, make sure to keep your eye on that highway hotline because things are looking a little bit rough out there. Now for our current temperatures, Buffalo Narrows minus 18, Stony Rapids minus 27, South End minus 22, Spiritwood and Melfort minus 15, the Battlefords and Wynyard minus 14, Swift Current minus 12, Weyburn and Estevan minus 11. Let's look at those highs now. For today, we have wind all across the province. The Battlefords at minus 13, along with Prince Albert, Yorkton minus 12, Estevan minus 9, Moose Jaw minus 10. And again, those wind speeds will be impacting these temperatures. Let's move over to our 7-day forecast. What we can expect to see today and for the rest of the week. Today, minus 13 is that high. Again, in the Regina area, seeing some of that snow coming again at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, minus 27. Friday, minus 29. Seeing that cold front moving through here for the rest of the week and into next week as well. Over the weekend, minus 24 for Saturday and Sunday and seeing some sunshine. On over to Saskatoon rather, minus 13 today, minus 27 tomorrow. Wrapping up the week on Friday with minus 31. Now Saturday and Sunday, minus 26 on Saturday, minus 23 on Sunday. Seeing some sunshine, but still those cooler temperatures. And starting the new week on Monday with minus 14.
Earlier this year, new guidelines proposed combining BMI with waist and body fat for a more precise definition of obesity. When a new JAMA Network Open study applied that framework to over 300,000 adults over 4 years, obesity rates jumped from 43% to nearly 69%. And about 25% of people with a healthy BMI were reclassified as obese due to a thickening waistline or higher body fat levels. Those newly classified as obese also had up to 6 times the risk of diabetes and heart disease, and nearly triple the risk of early death. But the new system is far from perfect. It relies on measurements that can vary or be inaccurate, making misclassification a real concern. Plus, it's time-consuming to implement. Still, the message is clear. No matter how you measure it, maintaining a healthy weight and body fat are both critical. With this Medical Minute, I'm Michelle Franzen.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
In case you missed it, coffee lovers from around the world are in Dubai for one of the world's largest coffee conferences.
One of our dreams is to bring coffee to all the people who cannot travel so much. Our main motivation as a coffee farm, it is for sure the people.
World of Coffee Dubai has brought in 17,000 visitors and more than 450 exhibitors from more than 130 countries. It's meant to highlight the deep cultural and economic ties that coffee creates worldwide, and also gives people at the conference a chance to explore the full supply chain behind the industry.
Jeremy, you're a coffee lover. Would you go to this?
I would. I'm so interested. I want to be, is there like a sommelier for coffee? Ooh. I want to be an expert on the taste of coffee.
Yeah. That's a good one. Like, if we're talking about like backup careers, I could see that, but you could be like an expert in it.
Yes.
All right, let's get on over to our question of the day. So actually, producer Nathan came up with this one today, and I think it's a really good idea. He's asking us today, what is a movie that you could watch over and over, just on repeat all day long? Jeremy, do you have one?
There are no movies that I could watch all day long, but Forrest Gump, Back to the Future, the original Jurassic Park, Fight Club. Let's say those ones. Those are my all-time faves.
All right. What about you?
Those are good ones. I think I could watch Clueless over and over again.
That's a great one.
A classic. I grew up on it. Jeremy, I'm sure, would love that as well.
It's a great movie, but over and over all day.
I was just telling them over here, Jeremy, that actually once when I was a teenager, I had one of those romances that ended, and I watched Chicago on repeat 3 times in one day. It would end, and I would just hit play again. End, and I would hit play again. But other than that, Father of the Bride 1 and 2, I would just rotate those all day long. Those are some of the best.
Yes.
Text us, though, a movie that you could watch over and over. 10400. Standard message rates may apply. And you can also scan that QR code on your screen. We'll share some answers in about 1 hour. For now, let's take a live look over the city of Saskatoon.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Winnipeg, where the Jets were hosting the Blues. St. Louis has themselves a 2-on-1. Cam Fowler, the shot, mostly stopped by Eric Comrie, but it trickles towards the net, and Nino Niederreiter gets back and pulls it off the goal line. Look at this. The puck was rolling into the net until Niederreiter earned himself a free dinner from Eric Comrie, and also our must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we've got some Raptors basketball. The Raps are in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Coverage for that one gets underway at 10 p.m. Eastern at 7 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Since 2010, Bell Let's Talk Days shone the light on mental health across the country, and today our Mike Siona is checking in on how Saskatchewan's doing, and he joins us now. Mike, good morning.
Good morning indeed. It is Bell Let's Talk Day, and we are down here at the SHA offices with Jennifer Skaken. Jennifer, let's talk about Saskatchewan. Here we are 16 years into this Bell Let's Talk Day initiative. Where have we come from as a province in terms of mental health?
Well, mental health, I think that mental health rates are continuing to sort of rise and escalate, particularly in Saskatchewan, but throughout Canada as a whole. Generally, when we're looking at the population, anywhere like 1 in 5 or 20% of our population are experiencing some sort of mental health concern in any typical given year. If we look at Saskatchewan, those rates are really escalated. So our rates of anxiety and depression, anxiety has tripled, depression has doubled, and so rates are really increasing. And so it's a pretty big concern when you think about our population. If we have 41 million people in Canada, and you think about a 20% ratio or 1 in 5, so we're looking at like about 8 million people in any given year are struggling with some sort of mental health concern.
And trying to normalize that, I think it's been something that's been really kind of a critical component to the Bell Let's Talk Day initiative and the movement. Are we still seeing maybe still some unreported stuff as well?
Oh, for sure we are. I know when we look at, for example, rates of suicide. So in Canada, anywhere like it's 11 to 13 people complete a suicide or die by suicide each day, and that's really sort of what we would call the tip of the iceberg. So that we know for suicide behavior or a completed reported statistic like a death, that the number is much vaster than that. And so if we have 4,000 completed suicides in Canada in a year, it's probably more like 2 million people that are actually thinking of suicide or having suicidal thoughts or even engaging in suicidal behaviors. And that sort of stuff may or may not end up presenting to hospital for support, and it may not be reported. And a lot of times suicide behavior or suicide deaths can be reported as something else just because of stigma, and people are concerned about the reporting, and so it kind of gets reported as something else.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Certainly not a light topic for us to delve into, but a very important and poignant one, and we'll continue to discuss all morning long here on Bell Let's Talk Day.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And of course, for more information on resources and how you can support Bell Let's Talk, head over to letstalk.bell.ca.
School Day Forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -11, but bundle up, those winds are strong. By the time lunchtime rolls around, -13, and sticking around that -13 point by about final bell. Seeing some snow as well. Over to Saskatoon, -14 by the time you get onto the bus, keeping it at that -14 by lunchtime, and final bell sitting at -13. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $1.25.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.02.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost is $1.24.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.15.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $578.42. The futures price is $636.20. Over to Amber Durham wheat being $274.92, and that Red Spring is $249.91. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.31 cents US. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It's just after 6:30 on your Wednesday morning, and here are your headlines. Premier Scott Moe has returned from China, celebrating a recent tariff deal between Canada and China. Last week, Moe joined Prime Minister Mark Carney in China, resulting in a deal that will see China significantly reduce tariffs on Canadian canola seed and at least temporarily remove tariffs on canola meal in exchange for Ottawa making concessions on Chinese electric vehicle duties. Moe says, well, this is a positive step for the agriculture industry. He says there's still work to be done.
From an agricultural perspective, this gets us back to where we were a year ago. No more, no less, really. We had slight tariffs on some of our ag products a year ago. We have slight tariffs on some of our ag products here today.
The changes within the Canada-China agreement are expected to take effect by March 1st. A $2,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest after a group of coyotes were killed by snowmobilers, and a warning: this story contains images that some viewers may find disturbing. According to Sask Tips, 4 coyotes were discovered roughly 11 kilometers east of Lanigan last Sunday. The animals were deliberately pursued and struck down by snowmobiles. 2 were found dead, and the other 2 were left severely injured, which led to the animals being humanely euthanized on site.
When individuals are perpetrating this kind of violence and cruelty towards wildlife, it has nothing to do with protection of livestock or wildlife management or, availability to, just essentially hunt this species. These are individuals that believe they're above the law.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Provincial Turn-In Poachers and Polluters, also known as the TIP line. Callers can remain anonymous if they choose to do so. A year-long legal saga has reached a conclusion as a Regina woman charged with the theft of nearly $5 million in an investment scheme was sentenced yesterday. Alina Marie Pastouche was sentenced to 3 and 6 months in custody with 547 days of remand credit. Justice Catherine Dawson passed down the sentence at Court of King's Bench and also ordered the restitution of $4.9 million. In December of 2025, Pastouche's legal counsel had requested a jury trial in an attempt to reopen the sentencing, but the request was denied on Tuesday, leading to the sentence. An elected official with Métis Nation Saskatchewan who admitted to leaving vulgar and threatening voicemails has had his position and duties suspended. Earlier this month, Brent Dignis left messages for a handful of members of Métis Nation Saskatchewan who are also family members. The voicemails contained inappropriate language and threats, warning the members not to attend MNS meeting Tuesday. Métis Nation Saskatchewan said although Dignis acknowledges his actions, it says his duties as the Eastern Region 2 representative will be suspended for an indeterminate period. He says he must also comply with an ethics committee's recommendations, which includes him completing recommended treatment and therapy before the committee will consider reinstating his duties. A Canadian woman found dead in Australia surrounded by a pack of dingoes Monday has been identified. The family of 19-year-old Piper James tells CTV News she started a 5-month trip with her close friend in late October. Her body was found around 6:30 Monday morning local time. Australian officials say there are 3 likely scenarios that led to James's death. She went for a swim in the ocean and was swept in by the waves. She drowned after getting pushed into the water by the dingoes, or it was a dingo attack. James's parents are set to travel to Australia to bring her body back home to BC, but they're waiting for the autopsy to be completed, which could take several days. The Riders continued their signing surge on Tuesday, inking Canadian defensive end Lake Courtmore to a 1-year extension.
Deep drop from Crum. Down he goes.
Last season, Courtmore only played 7 games, tearing his ACL in August. Drafted 3rd overall by the Riders in the 2023 CFL draft, Courtmore has 29 defensive tackles and 2 sacks. And earlier this week, the Riders announced receiver Kian Schaefer-Baker signed a 2-year contract extension with the team, keeping him in the green and white through until 2027.
Harris looks to his right, throws in that direction, laying out for it on the near sideline. Schaefer-Baker, welcome back.
2025 was a trying season for the 5th-year receiver out of Guelph. Schaefer-Baker got hurt in the Riders' first game of the season. He says the rehab process has made him a better player and a better person as a result.
The pain that you go through ultimately turns into power one day, and I feel like everything you go through in life happens for a reason, you know. Sometimes you might not understand it or know what's going on, but that's not for us to understand. The biggest thing in this locker room is the continuity and how we mesh together, and what we had last year was so special, but that's in the past. Last year was a crazy stepping stone for us, and now when you're at the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of another.
KSB returned from the injury for the final 4 games of regular season, where he had 177 yards on 15 catches and then had 27 yards on 3 catches in Saskatchewan's 112th Grey Cup win. All right, Janelle, we have to take a look at the weather, but before that, let's talk about those roads, because we saw a lot of snow yesterday in Saskatoon, some through Swift Current, and a little bit in Regina as well.
That's right. Yes, we are seeing cool conditions out there, but first, let's look at Highway Hotline. As you can see here, we do have quite a bit throughout Saskatchewan that is partially covered. We also have areas surrounding the Swift Current spot and also Saskatoon where travel is not recommended. So if you're heading out here this morning, make sure to give this a check before you hit those roads, because things are looking a little bit icy, a little bit slippery, and visibility is not great, especially with the wind that we are seeing. Let's take a look at Regina Regina's weather right now, that current temperature, because we're seeing a cool morning and quite windy conditions as well. Minus 11 here in Regina, 46-kilometer-per-hour winds moving through the city as well. Now, the Regina and surrounding area is expecting to see some more snow later on here this morning and into the afternoon. Close to 2 p.m. is when it's expected to hit once again, so be careful out on those roads. Over to Saskatoon now, minus 14, 33-kilometer-per-hour winds, and of course that is making visibility tough throughout the city and then surrounding areas, as we saw on Highway Hotline. So make sure you're checking things out before you're hitting the road. Let's look at wind gusts. This is what we can expect to see today hour by hour. Anywhere really from 25 to close to 60-kilometer-per-hour winds, which of course is not helping with the visibility. So Environment Canada has put out that yellow advisory, which means blowing snow is prominent throughout a good portion here of southern Saskatchewan, especially with that strong cold front. So poor visibility. Make sure you're checking things out if you're hitting those roads here today. Current temperatures throughout the province: Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge at minus 18, Nipawin and Melfort minus 15, Hudson Bay minus 17, the Battlefords minus 14, Kindersley and Swift Current minus 12, Estevan minus 11, and Yorkton minus 13. Here's a look at our highs for today, seeing quite a bit of wind and snow still moving through the province. The Battlefords at minus 13, along with Prince Albert, Yorkton minus 12, Estevan and Weyburn minus 9, and Moose Jaw minus 10. Now for our 5-day forecast here in Regina, minus 13 as our high for today. Of course, seeing that snow rolling back in around that 2 p.m. mark. Tomorrow, minus 27 with a low of minus 38. And on Friday, minus 29 with that low of minus 32. So we are expecting to see those cold fronts moving here throughout the rest of the week. And for Saskatoon, minus 13 today, minus 27 on Thursday, and minus 40 as that low. Minus 31 on Friday with minus 36 as that low as well for Friday. So make sure you're bundling up for the rest of the week.
The government of Saskatchewan has signed a memorandum of agreement with oil industry leaders to remove administrative barriers for oil and gas service drivers traveling to Alberta. Tuesday in Weyburn, Saskatchewan's minister responsible for SGI signed an MOA with the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors, officially amending the driver licensing and suspension regulations in Saskatchewan. Now, prior to the agreement, drivers for Canadian Association of Energy Contractors were required to submit periodic medical fitness reports to SGI and obtain the endorsement requirements.
Today marks Bell Let's Talk Day. It's a day to pause and reflect on the importance of our own mental health and that of our loved ones. CTV's very own Paul Hollingsworth joins us now to share a personal story. Paul was in university in 1991 when he received devastating news about his brother. And since that day, Paul has been advocating for youth mental health. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you, Kayleen, and good morning to all your viewers. And thank you for letting me join your show.
Paul, your brother Bryce was 3 years older than you. Tell us about him and about his story.
He was a good dude. If you knew him, you would have liked him. He was handsome. He was athletic. Back in the 1980s, he was like a preppy dresser, an upbeat guy. We shared a bedroom together, top bunk, lower bunk, normal big brother, little brother stuff. He chased away bullies who would torment me in the neighborhood. Those are the good memories. But as he grew older, he started to withdraw. I started to see changes in him. He separated from his friendship groups. He descended into drug and alcohol abuse. And the week before Christmas in 1991, December 16th, 1991, he took his own life. I talked to him on a Thursday night. I found him on a Monday morning. We buried him on a Thursday morning, and for the last 35 years, a big piece of Bryce has been buried in my heart. I talk to him every day. I try to make him proud of me every day. And my artillery in life every single day is to take that turning point in my life and my family's life and try to do anything I can to make sure that I can stay connected to people in the community. And maybe if we do that the right way, we could possibly spare another young person or another family the tragedy that my brother went through and that my family went through. It's the mission every day. Some days are better than others, but it's what I try to do through my family on a daily basis.
Paul, before we go further, thank you so much for sharing that part of your story and Bryce's story. I'm sorry for your loss. I know that the grief never fully goes away. How important is it for you to be able to share his story on a day like today?
It means the world to me, and it's a really good question. I would answer it this way. If I live my life the way I want to live my life, through the lesson that my family went through, by not talking to my brother enough, not intervening in a way we probably could have and should have a long time ago, it was a different time, we can take those lessons and maybe give his life and his legacy further meaning, maybe give him a second chance. He's 25 years old forever. He's never coming back. But if I can take that lesson from what happened to him and I could use it as motivation to be kind, to be considerate, to always encourage, to never discourage, to treat my own relationships like a personal code of conduct, and try to find ways to reach out to young people especially, and people of all ages in my community, in our shared community, and do whatever we can to let them know that they're not alone. We can talk to them. We can help them. We can provide comfort and care at a time when they may feel like the darkness is descending on them and no one is there for them. The reality is we are all there for them. And I think those moments in my life and my family's life are the motivations on a daily basis to stay connected to people every single day. So for my purposes, I get to do it to honor the legacy of my brother Bryce, who's, as I said, he's 25 years old forever. But if I do those things the right way, a small part of him gets to live forever with me on a daily basis.
Beautiful sentiment to end us off. Thank you so much for your time, Paul, and for sharing that story. For more information on resources and how you can support Bell Let's Talk Day, you can head on over to letstalk.bell.ca.
All right, let's go out now and see what Janella Pye got up to at Born to Be Arts Academy in Moose Jaw.
Good morning. We have ventured down to Moose Jaw. We are at the Born to Be Arts Academy. Really fun one coming up here. First off, let's talk a little bit about the program. Mary Poppins is coming up. I've got Jessica with me. Jess, let's talk a little bit about what people can expect.
This is a really talented group of kids. We have both a senior and a junior program here for Triple Threat, and these kids have blown us away like right from the beginning.
Amazing, and lots of hard work has gone into this. What do you hope that these kids get out of this program?
I think that when they leave, not only are they going to put on a fantastic show, we just really want them to leave knowing that they found a place where they belong.
All right. Well, it really seems that way, and I'll turn over to you now. Let's talk a little bit about how people can get involved, rather. How can they come check this out?
You can buy tickets at the moosejawculturalcenter.ca. We love the Moose Jaw Cultural Center. They are so incredible to work with.
Fantastic. And how have you seen the kids thrive while practicing for this? It's a big performance coming up.
They have worked tirelessly to learn harmonies and dances, and it's just so wonderful to watch them shine on stage.
All right, well, really exciting stuff. We will jump over this way, chat with a couple of the performers here. I'll get you to say your name, introduce yourself, tell me a little bit about how preparation has been going.
I'm Ben, and the preparation has been going pretty good. It's honestly, it's a little bit hard, to learn everything, but once you get the hang of it, it's really fun.
All right, well, it sounds like a ton of fun. We will move down the line. Let's go to you next.
Hi, I'm Georgia. It's been really fun. It's been busy, but it's been a great experience, and I'm really excited to perform.
I'm excited for you guys. This is a ton of fun. And last but of course not least,
I'm Bryn, and it's been going super good seeing how everybody's grown since day one to now, and how good the productions got.
Fantastic. All right, well, big performance coming up once again. We are down in Moose Jaw at Born to Be Arts Academy.
It's January 21st, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy birthday to Ed. Your family and friends love you and hope you have a fantastic day. Happy 9th birthday to Chloe. Enjoy your special day. And happy 4th birthday to Corbin and 30th birthday to Morgan, with lots of love from your families.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure to send them at least one day in advance.
All right, Chase, over to you at the Pure Country 92.7 studios.
Well, things look to be getting pretty cold in the next little while here, and we're looking at a hack. It started up, or it was gaining some momentum this past weekend in the NFL, and that's putting cayenne pepper into your socks. So we're going to see what the experts say. Is this actually helping, or is it just creating a giant mess? We'll see next time you reach for the spice rack if it's going into food or into your socks. That's on the way. Plus, we'll call out another name for a Pure Access. This could win you concert tickets for every show in 2026. Name will be called out at 7:10. Enter at purecountry927.ca, and if you hear your name, you'll have 9 minutes, 27 seconds to call back to go in for that grand prize draw.
Sabrina Carpenter is returning as a performer at this year's Grammy Awards. She's up for 6 trophies, 4 of them including Song and Record of the Year for Man-Child. Carpenter's first Grammys performance was last year when she won 2 trophies. The 68th Grammy Awards take place February 1st.
Tell us what you know, or what. MI5 can kill you and make it look like a stroke.
Steel is a tense, high-stakes thriller, but Archie Madekwe says star Sophie Turner kept things lighthearted on set.
Sophie did a great job of that, because you're inside, you're in a studio, you're having no natural daylight, and every morning Sophie would come in, woo, with a big speaker. Come on, guys, let's get it going.
You also know that as well.
And so she did a really good job of like keeping morale up and like making everybody feel just excited to be at work.
All 6 episodes of Steel are now streaming on Prime Video. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniels.
All right, let's get into our sidebar now, and we're in the middle of the work week. Some people may be feeling like this baby looks. Look at his face. As the caption says, baby Tony from Jersey is still mad. He's only 3 months old. Can we just appreciate that his name is Tony from Jersey? I love it.
Yeah, of course it is.
This is so Tony from Jersey of him. He's ready to rough someone up in his tracksuit and his little dumbbell.
His face is saying things I am not allowed to say on television.
Yeah. Oh, Tony. What a sweetheart. We understand you. Yeah. All right, Jeremy, over to you.
All right, it is the time of year where people set goals, make some resolutions, and this guy, he took it to the next level. Yeah, he made a PowerPoint presentation for his wife. End of year financial review with spreadsheets, some memes thrown in for good measure. She doesn't look real impressed, but does admit she's thankful for her fiscally obsessed husband.
Hey, I mean, it's efficient. You're probably budgeting well. This
Whatever
is great.
works.
Yeah, whatever works. All right, we have to go into a very quick break. We're going to reset and be right back with more news and weather. It's Wednesday, January 21st.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice.
Prime Minister Mark Carney received a rare standing ovation following a speech at the World Economic Forum. Last year's wildfires and some significant storms in Saskatchewan are proving to be costly. And Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What we know just ahead. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Swatsky.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thank you for being back with us.
And it's not just a regular day today. Today is 2026's Bell Let's Talk Day.
That's right. Really important campaign here. It's really great to get that word out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you are listening right now and you think that yourself or anybody that you know might make some use of some resources, you can head on over to letstalk.bell.ca. We're going to get over to your weather forecast in just a few minutes. For now, we're going to turn our attention over to news. There were strong words from Prime Minister Mark Carney when he addressed leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos on Tuesday. While Carney didn't mention the U.S. or President Donald Trump by name, he did say the rules-based world order is fading and Canada must adapt. He also reaffirmed Canada's support for Greenland. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on Carney's remarks and the reaction that he got from the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
And what Annie said was tomorrow is actually today. U.S. President Donald Trump will be addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos today, but some plane issues have made him a little late.
I believe President Trump is going to be about 3 hours late. I haven't seen the updated schedule.
Air Force One returned to Washington about an hour after takeoff last night. The U.S. president needed to switch planes. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the decision was made as a precaution after the crew identified a minor electrical issue. All eyes will be on President Trump's speech today after he threatened tariffs on Denmark and 7 other allies if they aren't willing to negotiate a U.S. takeover of Greenland. Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What began as a death investigation is now being treated as a homicide after a body was found in a vehicle shortly after police tried to carry out a traffic stop. The aerial support unit led police to the vehicle, but not to the occupants. Upon a search, a dead body was found inside. Police have also searched a home in the 3700 block of Dudney Avenue in connection with this case. Anyone with information on what happened is asked to contact police. Meanwhile, the cause of another death over the weekend in East Regina has been deemed non-criminal. Police made the determination in working with the Saskatchewan Coroner's Service and autopsy, finding no reason to suspect foul play in the man's death on the 2000 block of Prince of Wales Drive. Police will not release his identity. Saskatoon's tourism landscape could be in for a change. Jeremy, what's being proposed?
Kayleen, a city committee voted to rework the agreement with Discover Saskatoon. That's the city's tourism group, after it asked for a 95% funding increase this year. Instead, the committee voted to provide 3% increases over the next 4 years, while also adding more money to the special events reserve to help Discover Saskatoon bid on big events like the Briar or music festivals. Some funding is also contingent on Discover Saskatoon meeting certain performance targets.
Discover Saskatoon is the only organization doing this work and where venues and the city directly benefit from it. No other organization is doing the work that we are doing. If our capacity is reduced, this work does not move somewhere else.
The city is also encouraging reforms to help maximize funding, like amalgamating with SREDA, the Saskatoon Regional Economic Development Authority. Now, the city of Saskatoon's working toward combining SaskTel Centre and TCU Place into one organization. City staff met with both corporations over the summer and fall and found amalgamation would streamline operations, reduce duplication, and strengthen Saskatoon's ability to compete for major events. The city says there is limited downside, and the merger could be done by early next year. Aside from the benefits of consolidating operations, the city plans to have its convention center and theater right across the street from its arena, with the goal of working with a single operator.
The facilities at some point in time will be right across the street from each other. We'd always envisioned a single operator, whether it was a private partner or any other model. The opportunity to work together to compete on shows and kind of work both of those facilities on the bid was always seen to be an advantage.
The city estimates amalgamating TCU Place and SaskTel Centre into one organization will eventually save $470,000 per year. Well, Kayleen, those in Nova Scotia still dealing with the aftermath of that big storm.
That's right, Jeremy. Poor conditions still slowing down crews in Nova Scotia as they work to restore power to thousands of customers.
And we get into the field to restore power. There are multiple trees on lines that have to be removed, and it takes multiple crews at each outage to restore power for our customers.
Now, as of this morning, there are about 5,600 customers waiting to get back online. Most of the outages are being reported in areas of Bridgewater, Liverpool, and Windsor. Nova Scotia Power says icy roads and heavy snow weighing down trees are slowing down that restoration work. At the peak after Monday's storm, about a quarter of Nova Scotia Power customers were in the dark. And last year's wildfires and some significant storms in Saskatchewan proved to be very costly. A new report from the Insurance Bureau of Canada details losses from wildfires in the Flin Flon and La Ronge areas cost about $300 million. It notes Denair Beach experienced some of the most significant damage from this group of fires, with hundreds of homes, structures, and vehicles destroyed. It says the Pisu wildfire that impacted the communities of La Ronge, Hall Lake, and Air Ronge, as well as several other smaller communities in early June, caused over $50 million in insured damage. The report shows another $235 million in insured damage was done during a series of severe storms across the prairies in August. In Saskatchewan, Radisson, Longham, and North Battleford were hardest hit by those storms. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says in total, Canada's weather-related insured losses totaled more than $2.4 billion last year. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts begins Friday in Mississauga, and Saskatchewan's Team Campbell is ready to wear the green.
It's on the guard. It's going to tick and roll off. And Jolene Campbell will not have to throw her last rock, and she is your 2026 Saskatchewan Provincial Champion.
Saskatchewan has not won a Scotties championship since 2011 when Jolene Campbell was an alternate for Amber Holland. Campbell says there are similarities between that team and the one headed to the Scotties this year.
On this team, like Robin and I and Rachel have all been there before, so we kind of have that in common with them. We know what to expect. Really, we'll just enjoy it, I think, the same way they did. That's really how that team approached it. It was just, you know, they were really united and they just really enjoyed being out there together. They really supported one another, and so I think we do things pretty similar that way.
The Highland Curling Club hosted the team's send-off last night. Saskatchewan opens their tournament Saturday evening against Nova Scotia. Janelle, we were seeing some issues out on the roads this morning with that blowing snow. Are conditions improving yet?
We are starting to see some improvements. Let's take a look here at our highway hotline. Some of those highways outside of Saskatoon that were previously travel not recommended are now partly covered. We are starting to see those conditions lighten up a little bit. We will continue to keep you updated throughout the morning here. Now let's take a look at that current temperature in Regina. -12, seeing those wind speeds continue on at about 33 kilometers per hour. Still expecting to see that snow by about 2 p.m. this afternoon. Now for Saskatoon, -15, 35 kilometer per hour winds. Again, visibility isn't fantastic, but we are starting to see things lighten up a little bit out there. Let's take a deeper look into these wind gusts for today. We're really seeing anywhere it's fairly consistent between 25 to close to 60 kilometer per hour winds throughout the province. Now that yellow advisory is still in effect by Environment Canada. We are still seeing that blowing snow and that strong cold front moving through a good portion here of southern Saskatchewan. For our current temperatures, Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge at -19, Stony Rapids -29, Spiritwood -16, Hudson Bay -17, the Battlefords and Kindersley -13, Yorkton -15, Weyburn and Estevan at -11. For our highs today, the Battleford seeing -13 along with Prince Albert, Yorkton -12, Estevan and Weyburn -9, Moose Jaw -10. Now let's take a deeper look here into our 7-day forecast in Regina. Today our high will reach about -13, again seeing that snow earlier on in the afternoon. Tomorrow is another cold day, -27 as our high and -38 as our low, seeing that sunshine come out a little bit more. And on Friday, -29, -32 as the low. Now on Saturday, we are kicking off the weekend with -24, and again on Sunday, seeing that low on Saturday, still quite cold at -36. Monday will start off a new week with -13. Now for Saskatoon, -13 today is that high. Tomorrow -27 and -40 as the low. Friday -31, -36 as the low. So again, wrapping up this week is going to be very cold. Bundle up if you're heading out to work or wherever you are off to. Now over the weekend, -26 on Saturday, -23 on Sunday, but at least we're seeing a little bit more sunshine.
Tonight,
we just got situated in our room.
Just hours after this video, she was found beaten to death on a luxury resort in Mexico.
When I found out she was dead, I just started screaming.
Her Canadian boyfriend found not guilty.
My goal is that the monster who murdered my daughter doesn't have a chance to murder anybody else's.
We've uncovered blockbuster developments that could change everything. Tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Let's take a look at our real forecast for today. Meadow Lake -14, Lloydminster -13, Wynyard at that -14 degree mark as well. Hudson Bay -17, Easton Cypress -11, Leader -9, Broadview -12 along with Carlisle. Now let's take a deeper look at Leader, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. -9 is that high for today, seeing those scattered flurries moving through, and those winds are anywhere from 15 to 40 kilometers per hour.
All right, since 2010, Bell Let's Talk Day has donated over $184 million towards mental health in Canada. So let's talk to Mike Siona now to see how things have changed over those 16 years. Mike?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're down here at the SHA with Jennifer Skaken, and we are talking about how initiatives like Bell Let's Talk Day have kind of changed perceptions in landscapes. Have we seen in these last 16 years, and not just attributed to Bell Let's Talk Day, but a shift in terms of the landscape on stigma?
Yes, I think so. I think that
mental health is viewed more as now as part of health, not like where people used to really think more about mental illness, but it's really seen as part of health, and it is. And so it's important that people take care of their health just like they would take care of their physical health. When I think of an initiative like the Bell Let's Talk Day, when these initiatives run, there's all kinds of sort of information that's sort of flooding, social media, on TV, all those things. And so if even one person can pick up a crisis hotline number, either, on the screen today across the TV, or they see something on Facebook because there's posts about Bell Let's Talk, that has the potential to save someone's life. And so I think that's really important. And it does change how people view it. The more we talk about it, the better it gets, for sure.
Exactly. I remember, many years ago now, when this was kind of still in its infancy, the Let's Talk program, it was, that analogy, you could see a cast, but you can't see a mental illness. And now we've shifted more to that mental health component, because it doesn't have to be dire at the edge of it to be something that's impactful.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about those statistics, when we're talking about 2 million people in Canada that might be struggling with mental health, some of those people, it's more minor issues with their mental health, but they've got something going on. And then at the other end, we would have people who have something more severe or extreme going on. And we've shifted that lens to understand that it's a bit more about everybody, and it can happen to anyone.
No doubt about it. And so many different ways to care for your mental health, right?
Absolutely. I think when it's the same things your doctor would tell you, the things that we eat, the more that we move our bodies, the more that we get outside, the more that we're talking with people and connecting, all of those things, they impact our mental health as well as our physical health, and they just make us better, kind of more well-rounded and overall.
Fantastic. I love that. Well, we're out of time for this particular hit, Jeremy, but that's okay. We'll be back one more time this morning. We're going to talk about maybe what's next as we shift and look more to the future.
All right, Mike, that's what it's all about. Keep talking. We'll have more information on resources and how you can support Bell Let's Talk over at letstalk.bell.ca.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And forward we take you to Winnipeg, where the Jets were hosting the Blues. St. Louis has themselves a 2-on-1. Cam Fowler, the shot, mostly stopped by Eric Comrie, but it trickles towards the net, and Niederreiter gets back and pulls it off the goal line. Look at this. The puck was rolling into the net until Niederreiter earned himself a free dinner from Eric Comrie, and also our must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we've got some Raptors basketball. The Raps are in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Coverage for that one gets underway at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Well, in case you missed it, the next Sphere could soon be coming to Baltimore. The National Seashore Sphere would be a smaller version than the one in Vegas. It would seat about 6,000 people compared to the 18,000 in Vegas. If approved, it would be built near the city's MGM casino and take 3 to 4 years to complete. I just want to know, can you say it 5 times fast? The Seashore Sphere.
I would never be able to do that.
A bit of a tongue twister there. All right, let's get on over to our question of the day. We got so many answers for this one. There's no way we could possibly share them all, but we did get some of our favorites to share with you. What is a movie that you could watch over and over? What are some of the answers on the big board?
All right, we got some good ones. Sherry here says, my daughter and I watched Dirty Dancing over and over 6 times. We had to have the VHS back to the rental store the next day. That is commitment, Sherry. I love that for you.
I love Carrie's answer because I love When Harry Met Sally, and one of my favorite movies of all time is Pretty Woman.
Yes. Yeah, 2 great ones. Let's see here. We've also got Kayla. A movie that I would watch over and over would be St. Vincent. Excellent movie. Another great one. Thank you, Kayla.
And Ronald saying the 1933 version of Little Women or Meet Me in St. Louis. Little Women. Little Women is a fabulous movie. There's just been so many versions of that movie over the years, so I'm glad he specified which version.
We've also got Debbie who says a movie I could watch over and over is Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore.
It's a good one.
Another great one. And then Allison, The Blind Side or Mrs. Brown's Movies, which I've never...
You've never seen The Blind Side?
You know what? Years ago, now that you're saying...
For a second there, I was
scared. Wait a second. No, Blind Side, Kate. that makes sense to me. Kate, these are great movies. I know what I'm doing when I get home today.
So we want to hear from you, though. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. We'll try and fit a lot more into the next hour.
Another Canadian company is moving its headquarters to the U.S. GFL Environmental says it's relocating from the Toronto area to Miami Beach, but its jurisdiction of incorporation will remain Ontario. GFL's CEO says, quote, consistent with our desire to access a wider global investor base across both passive and active strategies, the relocation of our executive headquarters broadens our eligibility for participation in U.S. equity indices while preserving our eligibility for inclusion in Canadian equity indices. A KPMG survey last year found around 50% of Canadian companies were considering moving parts or all of their operations to the U.S. OpenAI says it will minimize water use and pay for energy infrastructure upgrades needed to power its data centers. We're being good neighbors, the company says, directly addressing the growing opposition to AI projects amid rising utility bills. We commit to paying our own way on energy so that our operations don't increase your electricity prices. That's from OpenAI. Microsoft made a similar promise in the last year. The number of data center projects canceled in the U.S. doubled in 2025 compared to 2024. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's time for your morning mystery play along at home. Whiteboards ready? Here are your 3 clues. Invented in the 1920s by Amélie Commasset of Les Coq Sportifs in France. No one critiqued my French. I don't speak French. They quickly began appearing at the Olympics, and it was commonplace to see athletes wearing them there by 1936. And Rocky Jane Fonda's 1982 workout video and the rise of hip-hop fashion, like Run DMC's Adidas tracksuits, helped turn them into accepted casual streetwear. Okay.
Okay. I think I've got it.
No, I think I have this one too.
What is that? What is that? What is going on with what we've got on screen right now?
We don't know. We don't know what's going on. Answers ready?
I don't know. No.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
I'm going to say high top sneakers. I have no idea.
I said sweatpants.
I said
Janelle said sweatpants. Today is International Sweatpants Day.
Nice.
All right.
I don't know how you got sweatpants out of that.
That was today's
Sounds like shenanigans to me.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
School Day Forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -12. By the time lunchtime gets here, it'll be -13. And about 3 p.m., final bell at that -13 degree mark as well, and starting to see some snow come down. In Saskatoon, -15 by the time you get onto the bus. By the time lunchtime is around here, -14, and final bell, -13. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $1.25.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.02.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost is $1.24.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.15.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $578.42. Amber Durham wheat now looking at that price, current $274.92. Over to red spring wheat, $249.91. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.31 cents U.S.
Welcome back to your morning, Saskatchewan. It's just after 7:30 on your Wednesday morning, and here are your headlines. Premier Scott Moe is back from his trip to Asia, where Prime Minister Mark Carney and the federal government struck a trade deal with China, resulting in the lowering of tariffs on canola and peas. Stacey Hine has more on how important this deal was for the egg industry.
Just hours after returning from China,
Premier Scott Moe joined agriculture leaders to mark a new Canada-China tariff deal.
Very, very significant to our Saskatchewan farmers, to all of our exporters, to the processing industry here in the province. But it's also important to the Canadian agriculture industry, and I would say equally important to the Canadian economy.
Under the deal, China will cut its canola seed tariffs from 75% to 15%. Tariffs on canola meal, peas, and seafood will also be dropped. In return, Canada will allow up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into the country each year at a 6.1% tariff, down from 100%. Despite a long history of clashes with former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Moe was quick to credit the federal government for landing the deal.
Credit to the federal government, and you haven't heard me saying that a lot in the last decade, but I will say it here today.
The Canola Council of Canada says the trade dispute led to volatile prices, noting many farmers still have last year's crop in the bin. It says the agreement couldn't have come at a better time.
With the 2026 growing season just months away, producers need predictable, rules-based access to global markets.
Pea growers are also welcoming the agreement.
The elimination of the 100% tariffs on Canadian peas was very positive news for pea growers here in Saskatchewan and across Canada.
Premier Moe notes canola oil, which remains subject to a 100% tariff, was left out of the deal, saying the focus was on canola meal.
And meal was the important piece for us to get in order to have that domestic crush capacity so that we can actually start to move some of the product that we have here in Canada.
Moe says while the deal is a positive step, more work remains.
From an agricultural perspective, this gets us back to where we were a year ago. No more, no less, really.
The changes under the Canada-China agreement are expected to take effect by March 1st. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A $2,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest after a group of coyotes were killed by snowmobilers. A warning, though, this story contains images that some viewers may find disturbing. According to Sask Tips, 4 coyotes were discovered roughly 11 kilometers east of Lanigan last Sunday. The animals were deliberately pursued and struck by snowmobiles. 2 were found dead, and the other 2 were left severely injured, which led to the animals being humanely euthanized at the site.
When individuals are perpetrating this kind of violence and cruelty towards wildlife, it has nothing to do with protection of livestock or wildlife management or, availability to, just essentially hunt the species. These are individuals that believe they're above the law.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Provincial Turn-In Poachers and Polluters, also known as the TIP line. Callers can remain anonymous if they choose to do so. A year-long legal saga has finally reached a conclusion as a Regina woman charged with the theft of nearly $5 million in an investment scheme was sentenced yesterday. Alina Marie Pastouche was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in custody with 547 days of remand credit. Justice Catherine Dawson passed down the sentence at Court of King's Bench and also ordered the restitution of $4.9 million. In December of 2025, Pastouche's legal counsel had requested a jury trial in an attempt to reopen sentencing, but the request was denied on Tuesday, leading to the sentence. The government of Saskatchewan has signed a memorandum of agreement with the oil industry leaders to remove administrative barriers for oil and gas service drivers traveling to Alberta. Tuesday in Weyburn, Saskatchewan's minister responsible for SGI signed an MOA with the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors, officially amending the driver licensing and suspension regulations in Saskatchewan. Prior to this agreement, drivers for Canadian Association of Energy Contractors were required to submit periods of medical fitness reports to SGI and obtain the endorsement requirements. Now, with the administrative burdens being removed, service rig drivers will be able to move back and forth between Alberta and Saskatchewan more efficiently.
What we're trying to do is really focus on the specialized, customized training that our association provides to drivers within the province of Saskatchewan, harmonizing with the province of Alberta so that when our crews and our equipment move back and forth from both Alberta and Saskatchewan, in particular areas like Lloydminster, where there truly is no border that exists between Alberta and Saskatchewan from a commerce perspective.
By the end of the year, Manitoba is expected to sign a similar agreement with the long-term goal of having drivers work under one set of transportation rules across Western Canada. A Canadian woman found dead in Australia surrounded by a pack of dingoes Monday has been identified. The family of 19-year-old Piper James tells CTV News she started a 5-month trip with her close friend in late October. Her body was found around 6:30 Monday morning local time. Australian officials say there are 3 likely scenarios that led to James's death. She went for a swim in the ocean and was swept in by the waves. She drowned after getting pushed into the water by the dingoes, or it was a dingo attack. James's parents are set to travel to Australia to bring her body back home to BC, but they're waiting for the autopsy to be completed, which could take several days. The Riders continued their signing surge on Tuesday, inking Canadian defensive end Lake Court Moore to a 1-year extension.
Deep drop from Crum. Down he goes.
Last season, Court Moore only played 7 games, tearing his ACL in August. Drafted 3rd overall by the Riders in the 2023 CFL draft, Court Moore has 29 defensive tackles and 2 sacks. Well, Janelle, we've been seeing that blowing snow this morning, and we had some areas where travel was not recommended. Things do seem to be improving, though.
They do. We are keeping our eyes on this highway hotline. We are starting to see those roads open up, less snow covered. We are losing some of that travel not recommended, especially around Saskatoon and the Swift Current area. That is where we were seeing the most of it, but now things are starting to lighten up a little bit. Let's take a look now at our current temperatures right here in Regina, minus 12. Seeing those winds stay consistent at about that 33 kilometer per hour speed, and still expecting to see that snow at about 2 p.m. this afternoon. Over to Saskatoon now, minus 15, 35 kilometer per hour winds. Again, visibility isn't great, but it is starting to clear up. Just some of this snow blowing, and that leads us into some of these wind speeds that we're seeing throughout Saskatchewan. Let's take a look. Hour by hour, still anywhere between 25 to 60 kilometer per hour winds. That advisory is still out for blowing snow and that strong cold front. So southern Saskatchewan is mainly going to be impacted by this. We are going to be seeing these temperatures and wind speeds continue throughout the week. Now for our current temperatures, Buffalo Narrows minus 19, Stony Rapids minus 29, Nipawin minus 15 along with Melfort, Hudson Bay minus 17. The Battlefords and Kindersley minus 13, Swift Current minus 12, Yorkton minus 15, and Weyburn minus 11. Now for our highs today, we'll be seeing Swift Current at about minus 11, the Battlefords minus 13, Yorkton minus 13 as well, Estevan and Weyburn both at minus 11. Let's dive into this 5-day forecast now. Here in Regina, we'll be hitting a high of about minus 13. Again, seeing that snow begin to fall early this afternoon. Tomorrow is when that temperature will begin to dip more. Minus 27 as our high, minus 38 in the night for our low. So bundle up for the rest of the week. It is going to be a cold one. Friday, minus 29 to wrap up our week. And on Saturday, we'll be seeing minus 24. Over in Saskatoon now, minus 13 as today's high. Tomorrow, minus 27 and minus 40 for our low. On Friday, minus 31 and minus 36 as the low. Over the weekend, starting to see those temperatures get a little bit nicer at minus 26 on Saturday. And a beautiful way to wrap up our weekend on Sunday with minus 23.
Regina police are asking for your help to catch another serial shoplifter. Between December 5th, 2025 and December the 30th, 2025, a man has attended several businesses around the community and stolen hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise. Here are some of the still images from the shoplifting incidents. If you know who this man is, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Did you know that Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
A Regina woman was sentenced on Tuesday for an embezzlement investment scheme that dates back to 2006. Jacob Carr has more on the lengthy legal process that has now come to an end.
Alina Marie Pastuch's appeal for a trial by jury has been dismissed. Instead, the judge has sentenced her to 3 years and 6 months in prison. With 547 days of remand credit, Pastuch will spend 2 years serving time in a federal jail. She was previously convicted in 2019 and sentenced to 7 years after being charged in connection to an investment scheme starting in 2006 that operated for around 7 years. Pastuch represented herself in the case, and a new trial was ordered in 2022 by the Provincial Court of Appeal. Fast forward to September 2024 when Pastuch entered another guilty plea, so there was no retrial. Last month, Pastuch's legal counsel requested a jury trial in an attempt to reopen sentencing, but that has been denied.
I'm hoping that the victims at this point will now, after over a decade, will get some closure in relation to the sentencing. Thankfully, the judge agreed with original counsel who made the sentencing submission along with myself as the Crown, and that now Ms. Pastuch will be held accountable for the theft of over $4.9 million.
Justice Catherine Dawson read several victim impact statements of those who were scammed into investing their money by Pastuch. Dawson declined to name the victims so as not to re-victimize them. One statement from a man who lost $55,000 said, "It may not seem like a great deal of money to some people, but to me it was significant. I've had many sleepless nights wondering and worrying where this money went." Another from a couple who lost $1.26 million. "We sold a farm. We had so many exciting plans for the next chapter of our lives. We plan to travel, help our children and grandchildren, do some charity work, and just enjoy the life we've worked hard for 35 years to establish." Dawson also issued a restitution order for Pastuch to pay back the over $4.9 million that she embezzled. The sentence will see Pastuch serve 730 days in a federal prison, and Pastuch has been ordered to surrender herself to Regina Police by Friday at noon. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A Regina Ringette team had a chance to take in some small-town hospitality after road conditions deteriorated on the way to Winnipeg last weekend. The Regina Riot U16 team was forced to stay a night in St. Claude, Manitoba as a winter storm blew through. The town welcomed all 41 people on the bus in for the night, letting them stay in the local community center.
We were actually talking about it on the bus. Like, none of us had experienced anything like that before. We've heard about people getting stuck in storms or whatever, but none of us have ever experienced anything like that. Nothing having to stay in a small town like that.
It almost makes me emotional thinking about it, but I said to my partner when I got home, I said, you know, like, doing stuff like this really like fuels my soul. Like that kind of stuff makes me so happy, being able to help people like that.
Unfortunately, the Riot were not able to participate in the tournament and had to turn back to Regina the following morning. Here's a look at what's happening in our community. The Sports World Collectibles Show was on January 24th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's being held at the Northgate Mall on the 400 block of Albert Street. And for more information, you can email sportsworld@sasktel.net. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
Let's head back out to Moose Jaw now and check in with Janelle Lippi.
Okay, I'm coming back to you in Moose Jaw down at the Born to Be Arts Academy. And Jess is joining me once again. What performance are we about to see here?
Well, this is like the iconic Mary Poppins performance, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. We all know it, right, from when we were kids watching Mary Poppins.
Absolutely, a classic. So if somebody wants to watch the full version of this, where can they get their hands on some tickets?
They can get their hands on some tickets at the Moose Jaw Cultural Center. And we are performing February 12th, 13th, and 14th. So there's 4 different opportunities for you to watch the show.
Amazing. Well, you won't want to miss out on this. Let's leave them to it. It's January 21st, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy birthday to Ed, your family and friends. Love you and hope you have a fantastic day. And happy 9th birthday to Chloe. Enjoy your special day. Happy 4th birthday to Corbin and 30th birthday to Morgan. With lots of love from your families.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure to send them at least one day in advance.
Chase, I know you have a lot to get to, but today our question of the day, we're asking what movie you would watch over and over and over again. Do you have an answer?
Ooh, Spaceballs.
Ooh, okay.
That's pretty much like the only one. I'm so excited for the sequel too, and then I hope that's going to be my next answer of what I can watch over and over again.
All right, what's happening in the radio studio?
I might just go and watch that on YouTube now. Honestly, you've thrown me on that path, so I might be done for the day just watching movies in the background. No, we're talking actually about the oddest thing that you've seen someone do while driving. William Shatner, 93 years young, was driving, and while doing so, he's eating a bowl of Raisin Bran, like full-on glass cereal bowl, the spoon, the milk, everything. Seems very dangerous to do while driving. So I want to hear from you. You can text 54321. Also, remember that William Shatner fact, because after 8:30, that's going to be part of Head Blank, and that could win you some tickets for Beer Fest this weekend.
Magic Mike is Big Apple bound. Channing Tatum is bringing the stage spinoff of his wildly successful male dancer movie franchise to New York in the fall. The show, Magic Mike Live, opens on October 8th as an immersive experience at the one-time Copacabana nightclub. The show's creative director is banking on a big run.
We're hoping it lasts 10 to 20 years.
We hope to be here as long as Lion King.
Yeah.
Sad news in the rock world. Rob Hurst has died. He was a founding member of the Australian group Midnight Oil. Hurst was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2023. He was 70 years old. Sabrina Carpenter has been announced as one of the performers at this year's Grammy Awards. The pop star is nominated 6 times this year, with her hit Man-Child up for Song of the Year, and recent album Man's Best Friend nominated for Album of the Year. And happy 50th birthday to Baby Spice. English singer Emma Bunton of the Spice Girls is hitting the half-century mark today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
All right, let's get into our sidebar. We're starting with a story about how living should be for our feathered friends. Now, this is not your average duck house. It's an A-frame cottage. It's floating for our 4 fabulous duck friends there. You can enjoy their company by renting out that main home that sits on 142 acres in rural Virginia.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness. I would pay anything.
I love ducks.
Maybe in my next life, I can be a duck in a floating pond in this type of home.
That is the dream.
What do you think?
That is the dream.
Dare to dream. Dream big. Reach for the stars.
All right, we're going to keep dreaming for now. We're going to reset and have more news and weather headlines for you in about 3 minutes' time. It's Wednesday, January 21st. President Donald Trump has arrived in Switzerland just this morning after a major delay due to plane trouble. He's now headed to Davos to speak at the World Economic Forum. Last year's wildfires and some significant storms in Saskatchewan proving to be costly. And Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What we know just ahead. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. Daryl is away, but I'm Kayleen Swatsky.
And I'm Janelle Lippai. Thank you for being back with us.
Janelle, I'm actually shocked looking at my computer right now and seeing all the texts coming in for our question of the day. It's been a long time since we have received this many answers for a question. You want to remind our viewers what it is?
Yes, so today we want to know what movie you would watch over and over again. We love to see all of these answers coming in. Keep them coming. You can text us at 10400. Standard message and data rates may apply. Or you can scan the QR code on your screen. There is still time to send your answers in.
All right, in just a few minutes, we're going to get over to you for the weather and talk about those roads and the travel not recommended. For now, we're going to get over to those headlines. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up a world tour that saw him sign a trade deal with China, forge a new strategic partnership with Qatar, and deliver a closely watched speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Addressing some of the most powerful and influential political and business leaders, the Prime Minister delivered a stark assessment of the current state of the global political system. Carney pointed out that the world is in the midst of a rupture, not a transition, and in the old world order, the rules-based international order is not coming back. International Trade Minister Maninder Sidhu says it was important for Canada to be in Davos at precisely this time of global change. And U.S. President Donald Trump has just touched down in Switzerland for his speech at the World Economic Forum. He was delayed by several hours after Air Force One needed to turn back for what's being called a minor electrical issue. Trump is set to deliver that speech today at the event, which of course comes after he threatened tariffs on Denmark and 7 other allies if they aren't willing to negotiate a U.S. takeover of Greenland. And as Trump arrives in Switzerland, American allies remained worried about Donald Trump's push to take over Greenland.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Trump is also digging in on his quest, posting an AI image of him planting an American flag on Greenland, claiming it as a U.S. territory. The Arctic island belongs to Denmark, a NATO ally. Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What began as a death investigation is now being treated as a homicide after a body was found in a vehicle shortly after police tried to carry out a traffic stop. The aerial support unit led police to that vehicle, but not to the occupants. Upon a search, a dead body was found inside. Police have also searched a home in the 3700 block of Dewdney Avenue in connection with this case. Anyone with information on what happened is asked to contact police. Meanwhile, the cause of another person's death over the weekend in East Regina has been deemed non-criminal. Police made the determination in working with the Saskatchewan Coroner's Service. An autopsy finding no reason to suspect foul play in the man's death on the 2000 block of Prince of Wales Drive. Police will not be releasing his identity. Jeremy, some changes could be coming to Saskatoon's tourism.
Yeah, Kayleen, they could be coming as Discover Saskatoon looks for more money from the city. As Keenan Sorokan reports, the city is looking for additional savings in the years ahead.
A city committee has tossed aside a request from Discover Saskatoon, formerly Tourism Saskatoon, to nearly double its city funding for the year.
Discover Saskatoon is the only organization doing this work and where venues and the city directly benefit from it. No other organization is doing the work that we are doing.
Discover Saskatoon was looking for a 95% increase from the city to remain competitive, with high-profile events becoming more costly every year. Councillors instead voted to increase spending by 3% each year until 2029, add more money to a major special events reserve, and add a bonus if certain performance targets are met.
It's measured, it makes sense, it's supporting the visitor economy and making sure that we don't get left out of important opportunities going forward.
Another goal of administration is to look at partnering or even amalgamating Discover Saskatoon with SREDA, the Saskatoon Regional Economic Development Authority, to find more efficiencies for tax dollars.
If you're looking for efficiencies, and not to completely diminish it, but really you're talking about
a cheaper photocopier lease.
Pocha says while the two organizations work together, they're not the same.
My team and I sell the attractions, the hotels, all of the experiences. They're selling a property tax environment, land acquisition, industry opportunities, but both work hand in hand.
With its funding ask taking a major hit, Discover Saskatoon is hoping the city won't lose its ability to host major tourist attractions.
If our capacity is reduced, this work does not move somewhere else.
City Council will give a final say on the funding arrangement at its council meeting later this month. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Kayleen, it has been a slow slog recovering from a big storm in the Maritimes.
That's right, Jeremy. Poor conditions are still slowing down crews in Nova Scotia as they work to restore power to thousands of customers.
And we get into the field to restore power. There are multiple trees on lines that have to be removed, and it takes multiple crews at each outage to restore power for our customers.
Now, as of this morning, there are about 5,600 customers waiting to get back online. Most of the outages are being reported in areas of Bridgewater, Liverpool, and Windsor. Nova Scotia Power says icy roads and heavy snow weighing down trees are slowing down restoration work. At the peak after Monday's storm, about a quarter of Nova Scotia Power customers were in the dark. And last year's wildfires and some significant storms in Saskatchewan proving to be costly. A new report from the Insurance Bureau of Canada details losses from wildfires in the Flin Flon and La Ronge areas cost about $300 million. It notes Denair Beach experienced some of the most significant damage from this group of fires, with hundreds of homes, structures, and vehicles destroyed. It says the Pisu wildfire that impacted the communities of La Ronge, Hall Lake, and Air Ronge, as well as several other smaller communities, that was in early June, caused over $50 million in insured damage. The report shows another $235 million in insured damage was done during a series of severe storms across the prairies in August. In Saskatchewan, Radisson, Langham, and North Battleford were hardest hit by those storms. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says in total, Canada's weather-related insured losses totaled more than $2.4 billion last year. A skier caught in an avalanche managed to make it out unhurt. Parks Canada released this video taken at Lake Louise on Tuesday. The post says the skier was just outside of the ski area boundary and trigged the avalanche. The skier ended buried waist deep in the snow and lost both skis, but was otherwise unhurt. The man convicted for killing former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been sentenced to life in prison. Abe was shot and killed at a political rally 3.5 years ago. Tetsuya Yamagami was arrested on the spot and pleaded guilty to murder last year. His lawyers were asking for 20 years, citing religious abuse. They say Yamagami's family went bankrupt supporting the Unification Church, and Abe was targeted because of his links to the church. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts begins Friday in Mississauga, and Saskatchewan's Team Campbell is ready to wear the green.
It's on the guard. It's going to tick and roll off. And Jolene Campbell will not have to throw her last rock, and she is your 2026 Saskatchewan Provincial Champion.
Saskatchewan has not won a Scotties championship since 2011 when Jolene Campbell was an alternate for Amber Holland. Campbell says there are similarities between that team and the one headed to the Scotties this year.
On this team, like Robin and I and Rachel have all been there before, so we kind of have that in common with them. We know what to expect. Really, we'll just enjoy it, I think, the same way they did. That's really how that team approached it. It was just, you know, they were really united and they just really enjoyed being out there together. They really supported one another, and so I think we do things pretty similar that way.
The Highland Curling Club hosted the team's send-off last night. Saskatchewan opens their tournament Saturday evening against Nova Scotia. Janelle, we have to get to the weather in just a moment, but let's first start by talking about the roads. People are heading out for their morning commute, and things are starting to improve, but still not great out there in some areas.
Yes, so we are starting to see some of these highways clear up. That travel not recommended is lifting in certain areas, especially around Saskatoon and the Swift Current area. However, there still are those blue marks in some of those highways. Travel not recommended. We are seeing that wind and snow blowing, so make sure you're keeping your eye on Highway Hotline here today. Don't hit those roads if you don't have to. Let's take a look now at the current temperature right here in Regina. -12, seeing those wind speeds picking up at about 43 kilometers per hour, and we will be seeing more scattered flurries headed our way at about 2 p.m. Over to Saskatoon now, -15, 28 kilometer per hour winds. Again, seeing that snow blowing, but visibility is clearing up in that Saskatoon area. Now let's take a deeper look at some of these wind speeds that we can expect to see here today. So again, this will impact that temperature that we're feeling. And of course, those roads are a little bit slick and visibility isn't great. We're anywhere between that 25 to close to 60 kilometer per hour winds here today. The advisory is still out for blowing snow. And of course, that strong cold front. And most of southern Saskatchewan is experiencing this. Now let's look at the current temperatures here across the province. Buffalo Narrows -19, Spiritwood and Melfort -16, Hudson Bay -17, South End -20, the Battlefords -13, Kindersley and Swift Current -14, Yorkton -16, and Estevan -11. Now for our highs today, the Battlefords will be seeing about -13, Swift Current -11, along with Weyburn and Estevan. Yorkton -13. Now for our 7-day forecast here in Regina today, we'll be reaching that high of about -13. Again, seeing that snow come earlier on here this afternoon. Tomorrow, seeing that temperature drop to about -27 as our high and -38 as the low. So if you're heading off to work, bundle up because these days are going to get colder. Friday, -29 and our low of -32. Now over the weekend, things are starting to level out a little bit. -24 is the high for both Saturday and Sunday. Over to Saskatoon now, -13 is today's high. Tomorrow, -27 with that low of about -40. Friday, -31 and -36 is our low. As we get into the weekend, Saturday, -26 and Sunday, -23.
On this day in history, in 1948, Quebec's provincial flag flew at the National Assembly in Quebec City for the first time. It was the first provincial flag officially adopted in Canada. In 2017, women's marches took place in more than 400 U.S. cities across America and 160 countries around the world, protesting on Donald Trump's first full day. And in 2002, the Canadian dollar fell to an all-time low, hitting 61.79 cents U.S.
One of the world's first 2 postage stamps, issued 186 years ago, is going up for auction. It's the mint block of 48 2-pence blue stamps, known to collectors as the Bucklew block. It's the largest known multiple of the 1840 blue stamp. The next largest block has 38 stamps, and it is part of the royal family's stamp collection. Experts say the block could sell for $5 million. The most interesting thing about this is the royal family has a stamp collection.
Yeah, well, you know, I sometimes in scripts like this, I like to think, okay, something's going to auction. How much would this cost? My guess was not even close to $5 million.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
This
what
is
a
like
collection.
the holy grail of stamp finds, I think.
Yeah. All right, let's get on over to our question of the day. Wow, Saskatchewan is awake this morning.
Yes.
We were flooded with answers. Thank you so much. Our question today was, what's a movie that you could watch over and over and over? Where are we starting on the big board, Janelle?
Let's take a look at some of these. We've got Phil here with Back to the Future, which is, of course, a beloved classic.
That was one of your answers, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
We've got Carol here who also says Something Borrowed or Aaron Brockovich.
Both amazing answers there.
Of course, another classic, Pitch Perfect, coming from Donna.
I'd just like to sing along with that one.
Good. It's a fun one.
Yeah,
I do
same.
love Pitch Perfect. And Lori here who says Home Alone, which is a great Christmas movie, another classic. And Raiders of the Lost Ark and Baby Driver by Rob. Thank you so very much. We had more answers than we knew what to do with. This was fantastic. We love to see it. We're excited to come back with a new, fresh question tomorrow.
Early
Earlier this year, new guidelines proposed combining BMI with waist and body fat for a more precise definition of obesity. When a new JAMA Network Open study applied that framework to over 300,000 adults over 4 years, obesity rates jumped from 43% to nearly 69%. And about 25% of people with a healthy BMI were reclassified as obese due to a thickening waistline or higher body fat levels. Those newly classified as obese also had up to 6 times the risk of diabetes and heart disease, and nearly triple the risk of early death. But the new system is far from perfect. It relies on measurements that can vary or be inaccurate, making misclassification a real concern. Plus, it's time-consuming to implement. Still, the message is clear. No matter how you measure it, maintaining a healthy weight and body fat are both critical. With this Medical Minute, I'm Michelle Franzen.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Let's catch up with Mike Siona once again. He's sporting his Bell Let's Talk Blue today. Mike.
Well, we are talking on this Bell Let's Talk Day about mental health. I'm here with Jennifer Skaken, as we have been all morning long. And we've talked about the past, we've talked about the present. We kind of want to talk about the future. And as I understand it, the initiatives that are currently going into the future are kind of in a little 5-year window here.
Yeah, for sure. So the mental health action plan, this sort of spans 23 to 28, is in progress, and some tangible things that we can feel already would be wellness buses that are located in our major cities. So Regina, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert all have a wellness bus, and they have a mental health assessor coordinator embedded in that team. And so walk-in traffic can approach the bus and be very quickly assessed and linked to our different mental health resources, as well as those of our CBO partners. Another initiative that we're already sort of feeling would be a provincial centralized intake team. So we have local intake teams in our major centers as well, which work really well. But if we can broaden that out broad scale for provincial, then it would be much more seamless for patients or clients or people accessing the public accessing services to kind of figure out, where do I go, how do I find the services that I need? And then for the staff on the inside, it's more of a central hub, so it's also much more streamlined how they would connect people with resources as well.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially when you consider just the massive geographical challenges that are present in the province. I mean, you mentioned the health bus in the more major centers, but mental health doesn't care where you live.
Absolutely, and I believe it's something like 37% of Saskatchewan residents live in the rural areas, and so we need to have a way that you can connect to any of those different areas and any of those resources. Clearly, we can't put services in all the areas, and so we need to know, how do we get those people connected to the services that they need when they need them.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. It has been a wonderful, wonderful morning down here. We've learned a lot. We're continuing the discussion. We hope that you do as well on this Bell Let's Talk Day 2026.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Since 2010, Bell Let's Talk Day has raised more than $184 million for mental health in Canada. And for more information on resources or how you can support, head to letstalk.bell.ca.
Greetings, everyone. Hoop dancing is an Indigenous tradition that uses dance to tell the stories of nature, share life lessons, and create an interconnectedness with all things. One hoop dancer from Saskatoon is sharing his knowledge and skills with those who visit the Wanuskewin Heritage Museum. CTV's Hallie Mandrick has more.
Lawrence Roy has been hoop dancing since he was 13 years old, and now he's sharing that passion with those who visit the Wanuskewin Heritage Museum.
I have 30 hoops that I dance with, and I come here and I dance for the people, and I give them information about what hoop dancing is, where it comes from, how it was originated, and everything.
It's part of the Wanuskewin dance and music presentations, drop-in programming which offers visitors an opportunity to learn more about Indigenous art forms. Roy's hoop dancing came along with teachings of how his art form is reflective of many things that can be found in nature.
He's telling us at the start, like, oh, you'll see the butterfly, then it'll be a snake, then it'll be a butterfly again, then a bird, eagle, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then sure enough, with the hoops, you see it all. It was really neat. It really gave you a lot of images and a lot to think about.
Roy also gave visitors an opportunity to try their hand at hoop dancing. The dancer says crowds are typically a little hesitant at first. However, a little encouragement goes a long way.
Because they can't really think they can do it, but they can. So I give them the courage and empowerment to know that they can do something that's as difficult as hoop dancing.
Okay, we're going to the left again. Because we're a universe. Yeah. We're only $4, yeah. We're strong!
It was harder than I thought. When he was doing it, I was like, wow, it looks like he's pretty good at it, but it can't be that hard. And then when I was doing it, sure enough, it was really cool. Really hard, though. It takes a lot of patience.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Hallie Mandrick.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It's just before 8:30 on your Wednesday morning, and here's what's making news. Premier Scott Moe has returned from China, celebrating a recent tariff deal between Canada and China. Last week, Moe joined Prime Minister Mark Carney in China, resulting in a deal that will see China significantly reduce tariffs on Canadian canola seed and at least temporarily remove tariffs on canola meal in exchange for Ottawa making concessions on Chinese electric vehicle duties. Moe says, well, this is a positive step for the agriculture industry. He says there's still work to be done.
From an agricultural perspective, this gets us back to where we were a year ago. No more, no less, really. We had slight tariffs on some of our ag products a year ago. We have slight tariffs on some of our ag products here today.
The changes within the Canada-China agreement are expected to take effect by March 1st. Conservation officers are asking for the public's help after a gruesome discovery last weekend, and a warning: this story contains images that some viewers may find disturbing. Hallie Mandrick has the details.
A $2,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest after a group of coyotes were killed by snowmobilers. According to Sask Tip, 4 coyotes were discovered roughly 11 kilometers east of Lanigan last Sunday. The animals were deliberately pursued and struck by snowmobiles. 2 were found dead, and the other 2 were left severely injured, which led to the animals being humanely euthanized on site. One expert says that while coyotes can be a nuisance for farmers this time of year, this incident was far from population control.
When individuals are perpetrating this kind of violence and cruelty towards wildlife, it has nothing to do with protection of livestock or wildlife management or, availability to essentially hunt the species. These are individuals that believe they're above the law.
Evidence collected at the scene indicates that all 4 of the coyotes were run over by the same group of snowmobilers. In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Community Safety said, quote, "We are deeply concerned by the recent incident reported in the Humboldt-Lanigan area involving coyotes that were struck and killed by snowmobilers. Intentionally harming wildlife is not only illegal, but it also undermines the values of respect and responsibility that most outdoor users uphold. An investigation is currently underway to determine what occurred." Now, investigators are hoping the public can assist in finding the perpetrators.
There are very few conservation officers in the field compared to other police agencies, so we do rely heavily on the public, rural landowners, anyone else driving in rural areas that happen to see or come across something to report it to the tip line, and then officers will follow up to investigate.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Provincial Turn-In Poachers and Polluters, also known as TIP line, at 1-800-667-7561. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government is moving towards removing red tape for drivers in the oil and gas sector. As Sierra D'Souza Butts explains, the plan is to bring Saskatchewan's regulations more in line with Alberta.
Oil and gas service drivers now have easier access when traveling between provincial borders.
This is about reducing red tape. It's about harmonizing with the province of Alberta.
The government of Saskatchewan is signing a memorandum of agreement with the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors, officially amending the driver licensing and suspension regulations in Saskatchewan, along with removing administrative barriers for drivers of service rigs.
There truly is no border that exists between Alberta and Saskatchewan from a commerce perspective in oil and gas. So we want to make sure that our crews can move back and forth between Alberta and Saskatchewan as efficiently and seamlessly as possible, and that's what this agreement does.
Prior to the agreement, drivers for the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors were required to submit periodic medical fitness reports to SGI and obtain the endorsement requirements. Now, with what the province refers to as administrative burdens being removed, service rig drivers will be able to move back and forth between Alberta and Saskatchewan more conveniently. The provincial government says the change will allow Saskatchewan's energy sector to be more efficient and competitive.
Having that cross-border harmonization as far as the rules in this industry is really important because it is one oil field, and individual companies are operating between the two jurisdictions. So having a consistent set of rules means that we are going to be able to have that efficiency.
By the end of the year, Manitoba is expected to sign a similar agreement with the long-term goal of having drivers work under one set of transportation rules across Western Canada. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Weyburn.
The City of Saskatoon is working towards combining SaskTel Centre and TCU Place into one organization. City staff met with both corporations over the summer and fall and found amalgamation would streamline operations, reduce duplication, and strengthen Saskatoon's ability to compete for major events. The city says there is limited downside and the merger could be done by early next year. Aside from the benefits of consolidating operations, the city plans to have its convention centre and theatre across the street from its arena, with the goal of working with a single operator.
The facilities at some point in time will be right across the street from each other. We'd always envisioned a single operator, whether it was a private partner or any other model. The opportunity to work together to compete on shows and kind of work both of those facilities on the bid was always seen to be an advantage.
The city estimates amalgamating TCU Place and SaskTel Centre into one organization will eventually save $470,000 per year. A Regina group picked up more than 1,200 syringes from Regina streets, along with other hazardous waste and drug-related material, over the course of 31 patrols last year. White Pony Lodge says in addition to the syringes, patrollers picked up another 163 syringe caps or parts, along with various drug paraphernalia, drugs or pills, and more. In total, more than 2,600 dangerous items were recovered over the course of the year. White Pony Lodge thanks the City of Regina for their support through a harm reduction grant. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's agreed to join U.S. President Trump's so-called Board of Peace. The announcement comes after Israel had said the makeup of the board's Gaza executive body did not align with their interests. Part of the board aims will be to oversee the Gaza ceasefire plan. The Husky Football Foundation has announced the special guest for the 24th annual Dogs Breakfast in April. All-star running back and Grey Cup winning coach Mike Pinball Clemens will be this year's speaker at the Dogs Breakfast, one of the largest football fundraisers in the country. The event raises money for scholarships and academic assistance for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies football team. Clemens is known for his personality both on and off the field, moving from the team to the front office of the Toronto Argonauts, where he's currently general manager. Huskies coach Scott Flory says the event is about more than just raising money.
This is just the lifeblood of our program. We don't get good players, we don't win football games without giving scholarships to student athletes and getting them here in the city, in this province, into this amazing program, and this is a vital piece of that.
The 24th annual Dogs Breakfast goes April 30th in Saskatoon. Sure, it's only January 21st, but this is a glimmer of spring. Blue Jays sharing this video on social media for Truck Day with the team's gear getting loaded up for spring training. The American League champions will be back on the field sooner than you would think. Pitchers and catchers will report to spring training on February 11th, and the first full squad workout is the 16th. The first pitch of spring training will be thrown February 21st, 1 month from today, against the Phillies. All right, Janelle, we have been closely watching the highway hotline this morning. Any further improvements?
Well, we are still seeing some of those highway spots opening up. They are still partly covered. That's what the yellow is. However, we are seeing some of those travel not recommended. Lift across Saskatchewan, especially near Saskatoon and Swift Current. So keep your eyes on the highway hotline. Still make sure to take your time because those highways are still mainly partially covered, but things are starting to look up. Let's take a look now at our current temperature right here in Regina. -13, seeing that wind moving at about 37 kilometers per hour. Still expecting to see that snowfall about 2 p.m. this afternoon. Over to Saskatoon now, -15, seeing 28 kilometer per hour winds. Once that sun does rise, Saskatoon will be seeing a little bit more of it than we will be here in Regina. Let's take a deeper look now at some of these wind speeds throughout the province. We are still at that 25 to close to 60 kilometer per hour wind speeds through southern Saskatchewan. Now that yellow advisory is still in effect for blowing snow. That means that that wind is moving that snow and it is making visibility still a little bit tough. So between the wind and that strong cold front, if you're hitting those roads, maybe pack some extra warm clothes just in case because that temperature is feeling much colder than what is actually showing. Now let's look at those current temperatures. Again, that wind is impacting these. Buffalo Narrows -19, Stony Rapids -29, Nipawin -16 along with Melfort, Hudson Bay -17, Kindersley -14 along with Swift Current, Estevan -11, Yorkton -17. For our highs today, the Battlefords will be seeing -13, Swift Current -11 along with Weyburn and Estevan, Yorkton -16. Now for our 5-day forecast right here in Regina, -13 as our high for today. Again, seeing that snow come a little bit earlier here this afternoon. Into tomorrow, we start to really see that temperature drop. -27 as our high and -38 in the evening for our low. Over on Friday, -29 as our high, -32 as our low. However, once we get into the weekend, we'll start to see those temperatures lighten up with -24. Over in Saskatoon now, -13 today is that high. Tomorrow seeing a little bit more sunshine with -27. Now -40 as our low in the evening. So again, seeing that temperature dip for a good portion here of Saskatchewan. Friday -31, -36 as our low. Getting into the weekend, Saturday still a little bit cool at that -26 mark, and Sunday -23. Judy Wright with Gateways Counseling is joining us now for a look at some effective strategies to bettering your life. Judy, how did you come to settle on some of these strategies?
Yeah, good question. So based on my 30 years and like education and training and research and talking with various of my peers, and then also kind of following my own clients and kind of looking at what worked and what didn't work.
Right, so a little bit of trial and error. And what are some of the patterns that seem to cross some of these domains?
Yeah, so 3 kind of underlying patterns that I've noticed. It doesn't really matter what you're dealing with. You usually have one or all of the 3. And the first one is unawareness and understanding. So, you know, we may have a pattern that we've been running for quite a long time and we might know some of it, but some of the deeper stuff we might not know, or we might not even know how to get out of it. That's one of them. And then dysregulation, that's, you know, like we're kind of running on fumes, we're really kind of stressed out, we're reactive. So we're really in that sympathetic nervous system. And, you know, it can cause lots of mental disorder issues and also some health issues of like stroke or heart attack. And then finally, there's kind of the one where we might feel really helpless with our issues. We don't even know where to start, or we started and we just feel like we haven't been able to gain any ground with them.
Absolutely, and taking it right back to that, where do you begin to help people with some of these challenges?
So it is really breaking it down and trying to figure out, where or all and where to start with that. So if we're kind of looking with awareness and understanding, it's just kind of helping them to build that a little bit and develop some areas that can kind of tap in back into what they're doing. And then with dysregulation, it's really helping them to work with their parasympathetic nervous system. So we're working to cool that cortisol down and help to slow down that reactivity. And then with helplessness, it's trying to build, that you've got some personal empowerment and you feel like you've got some choice and you can make some movement.
Absolutely. And what are some of those specific strategies that could be applied to those different circumstances?
So with awareness and understanding, we will use psychoeducation to build some of the whys you're in there. And then some of the strategies are very similar. We're taking a look at, what's your triggers, what's your beliefs, what's your thought patterns, and we have them write them down so that you can process them better and then try to come up with the other side. With dysregulation, we're really working on probably things like mindfulness. That's been very proven to be effective to give us a little bit more distance and not be so reactive. Maybe some strategies from DBT or ACT. And then with helplessness, it's really chunking all that stuff down from overwhelm into small pieces and giving them a small space to start where they can really find some success.
Some really great tips here. Judy, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, thanks, Janelle.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but AI is taking over our world. And that does require some rather large infrastructure changes in order to support that change. So we brought our tech expert, Katrina German, in to help us sort this out. I guess, first off, data centers are a big topic of conversation, and the energy and the resources that they do take. Explain data centers to us.
So first of all, the data center is a physical structure, a building, something under the ground that where you actually are keeping a lot of the servers and a bunch of computers basically on racks. And so when you're putting in a prompt into ChatGPT, it feels like it comes back instantly, but it's actually going to the closest data center, coming back just like magic and giving you that information. So basically data centers are crucial to the internet functioning.
Okay, so now, do we have any of these in our province, nearby?
Yes, we do. So data centers are big. A lot of people are building them all over the world. But here in Saskatchewan, we've had, SaskTel's had some in Saskatoon and Regina for a while. The U of S has had one for research for a period. And there's discussions going on in Southeast Saskatchewan, Moose Jaw, Saskatoon about creating different data centers. So this is a topic that's really timely right now for people in Saskatchewan.
Okay, now the thing with these is there is a downside. They tend to take a lot of energy, right?
This is a problem. So, already we're talking about the environment, energy, that sort of thing, and data centers are adding an extra strain to that grid. And so basically the amount of power being used by them is expected to double by 2030. And so this is an issue we really want to be looking at. Another issue around them too is water. There are some places where there's been these large data centers where their water systems has been interrupted. So those are a couple things that we really want to be looking at when we're talking about bringing data centers into Saskatchewan. Yeah. Fortunately, we have strong energy here, so we should be okay, but it is something for us to be thinking about and being very conscious about when we're putting data centers in place.
It's about cooling, right? That's why the water, I think this is happening in Alberta in some places.
Yes, there's some places in Alberta that are dealing with this, but a lot of times what you need is actually, some of the different data centers need water to do part of their cooling and part of their systems. Yeah. And so that's one of the nice things also about Saskatchewan is that we're pretty darn cold here. You may have noticed about 6 months of the year. And so that would actually be very helpful for the types of services that are needed for these centers.
Okay, so maybe that's worth it, though. Are there upsides?
Absolutely. Well, these are huge capital infrastructure projects. They take years. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of people who are involved in creating them. So there's going to be some economic benefits. Also, the idea of data sovereignty. So this is the idea that right now, a lot of our data from Canada is actually going to the States and being stored there in different places around the world. As different tensions are going on, it's kind of a good idea for us to start keeping our data at home so that we can make sure that we're keeping everything safe and where it needs to be.
Okay. So what do you think then? Is Saskatchewan, should we be building these here?
I believe it's an absolute opportunity, but we want to be making sure that we're keeping an eye on that environmental part of that and making sure that we're building for the future.
Okay, there it is. For all your AI and tech info, katrinagerman.com and ethicaldigital.ca. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now let's head out one more time and check in with Janelle Lippi to see what she is getting up to.
All right, coming back to you from Moose Jaw at the Born to Be Arts Academy. This time around, special guest, we've got Belle, one of the performers. Belle, what are you guys giving us this time?
We are going to be doing Jolly Holiday.
Jolly Holiday, fantastic. We're excited. How can people get their hands on some tickets?
Go look at the tickets on the Moose Jaw Cultural Center website, and yeah, you can get tickets there.
Awesome. Well, make sure to go grab your tickets. I'll step off, let you guys have at it.
Tonight,
we just got situated in our room.
Just hours after this video, she was found beaten to death on a luxury resort in Mexico.
When I found out she was dead, I just started screaming.
Her Canadian boyfriend found not guilty.
My goal is that the monster who murdered my daughter doesn't have a chance to murder anybody else's.
We've uncovered blockbuster developments that could change everything. Tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Sabrina Carpenter is returning as a performer at this year's Grammy Awards. She's up for 6 trophies, 4 of them including Song and Record of the Year for Man Child. Carpenter's first Grammys performance was last year when she won 2 trophies. The 68th Grammy Awards take place February 1st.
Tell us what you know, or what. MI5 can kill you and make it look like a stroke.
Steel is a tense, high-stakes thriller, but Archie Madekwe says star Sophie Turner kept things lighthearted on set.
Sophie did a great job of that because you're inside, you're in a studio, you're having no natural daylight, and every morning Sophie would come in, woo, with a big speaker. Come on, guys, let's get it going.
You also know that as well.
And so she did a really good job of like keeping morale up and like making everybody feel just excited to be at work.
All 6 episodes of Steel are now streaming on Prime Video. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniels.
An 84-year-old Florida golfer has achieved a rare feat, an eagle and a hole-in-one in the same round. NBC's Kendall Hyde has more.
At just 84 years of age, Mike Garofalo knows he's a little bit past his athletic prime. However, he turned the clock back on Father Time just last week, as through 6 holes, he was hitting 7 under par. If you ask Mark Garofalo who he is, he'll tell you. just your average guy.
Thank God I have a terrific wife, 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and just had our 3rd great-grandchild this week.
He says with everyone out of the house, he's keeping himself busy these days on the golf course.
I've been doing it a long time. It's a challenging sport because there's so many different aspects to it, and it's always a challenge.
It's a challenge that he accepts. In fact, he's been playing for over 60 years and even has quite the trophy room, including 8 hole-in-ones. But his greatest day on the course came last Tuesday.
I had a birdie on the 2nd hole. We got to the 7th hole, and I hit my tee shot, and it went through the trees and on the green. I sank it for an eagle.
Oh, but the lucky day didn't stop there.
Get to the 11th hole, and I hit the shot. Somebody said, gee, that looks really good. So we went up to the green, and I said, I don't see the ball.
After looking, they found it in the most unlikely place.
So one of the guys goes over and looks in the cup, and he goes, yeah, there it is.
Now, I know you say you're just the average guy that takes pride in your kids, grandkids, and now great-grandkids. How cool is this to be able to tell 3 generations? I did something pretty cool on the greens.
I immediately got on the phone and called all of my children, and they passed it on to their children as well.
Hey, Mr. G, you've inspired me to run out to the greens. Hopefully I can redo the day that you had.
Well, that proves that age is just a number.
That's right. You love to see it.
All right, let's get on over to our sidebar. It's the middle of the work week. We're getting through it. Some people, though, are feeling like this, baby. Tony is very angry that it is not Friday yet. Look at that face. As the caption says, baby Tony from Jersey is still mad. He's only 3 months old. He's ready to rough someone up, though. In his tracksuit, he's got his dumbbell in his hand. His boss baby just waiting for an offer he can't refuse.
His little
shaking
fist.
his fist.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't want to make Tony mad.
No, nobody should mess with him.
I don't want to be on the receiving end of this stink face. But he's so stinking cute. Jeremy, what else?
Okay, how living should be for our feathered friends. Check this out. Yeah, not your average duck house. A-frame cottage, floating home for 4 fabulous friends. Pretty nice digs for these guys.
I just want to be as relaxed as a duck in a cottage.
I love this one. Somebody has put so much time and effort into this beautiful little space. Oh,
what if the lamp lights up?
Oh my goodness, that would be the cherry on top. But all I can really think about is this guy in the lake and his feet, like his bare feet are touching the bottom of the lake.
And you're completely distracted.
It's like, ooh.
She's like, okay, the ducks are having fun, but the ducks are meant to be there. What is he doing in the lake?
His feet are in the lake right now.
He's probably got some algae crawling and
Oh, come on. It's a lake. You've never been in a lake?
We've been in lakes with water shoes.
Water shoes are so important. If you can feel the bottom of the ground, game over.
Game over.
Oh,
okay. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday morning with us. We appreciate you, and we hope to see you again tomorrow morning starting at 6 a.m.